Hello, welcome to Daily Wellbeing with Gemma. Today I'm out and about on a walk, and the idea that I wanted you to think about is foraging, which is a little bit of a lost art for many of us, but it's something that I enjoy immensely. So I'm not a big fan of just walking on its own. I like to either be with another person if it's safe, or to be walking to a place. So I find it really hard to just enjoy the walk. I have to make a lot of effort, but one of the things that does make a walk enjoyable for me is noticing what plants are around, and especially if any of those are edible, can be used in recipes and things like that. So I've been foraging off and on for about the last 8 years. Just little things like finding plants that will go in teas or that you can make drinks out of, that can go into recipes. And it's really relaxing when you're on the walk, but it's also quite satisfying when you know that you've found locally sourced things to go into your food and drink. So a couple of things to bear in mind are: make sure that you definitely know what a plant is before you pick it and eat it. There are loads of how-to guides online. And actually I'm very lucky that in my city there's a local foraging group that go out walking together. Think about where you're foraging from. So if things are by the side of the road, they might have a lot of pollution on them. If they're very low down, dogs in particular might have done their business nearby. So you want to look for things that are, towards the back of the bushy area or out of the way. And don't pick too much either. So if you've got a tree full of flowers or fruits, you don't want to strip it bare, because you want to leave enough for the tree, other foragers, birds and wildlife that are around. So you just take small amounts and use it while it's fresh. So I'm going to talk you through a couple of plants that I've got near me. And what's really nice about foraging is that plants are in season at different times, so there's always something to have a walk and look out for. So a couple of the plants that I've spotted on my walk aren't ready yet, but I've noticed where they are ready for when they do come out. So let's have a look. So this is a wild cherry tree. You can see that it's got the elongated leaves with the kind of serrated edges, and some of the cherries are just starting to turn pink, but there'll be another couple of weeks yet until they're ready to pick, and they'll make a nice jam or compote or some sort of even cordial if it's sweetened. These are rosehip flowers, and they are quite good for, rosehip kind of tea. The flowers have got a nice perfumey scent to them, and you can see down here as well where a few of the flowers are dried up. These will be the rosehips, probably in September, October time. And rosehips are really full of vitamin C. They've got a nice sweet texture for jams and things. So this is the elder. In the springtime and summer it's got these elderflowers on it, which are really distinctive. You see these all over the countryside. Big spray of white yellow flowers. And then in the autumn these will be berries, and they're really nice for cordials. You can actually kind of batter them and light fry them. If you are going to take these, you want to take them off just at the stem there, so that you get all the flowers at once. And oops, that's me doing it one-handed. So you want to get the whole stem like this, and they will have creepy crawlies on them. They get quite a lot of bugs, so you want to just kind of lightly tap them as you're putting them into your bag or bucket to take home. With elderflower, you want to get them when they're ideally in the morning, when the flowers have first opened. Oh, look, you can see the creepy crawlies. They're our big fan. And you want to make sure that most of the flowers are open. So for this set of buds, they'd be no good. They're starting to turn to berries. And sometimes you can get them like this, where although it's open, you can see a lot of the flowers are falling off, so the pollen's not going to be as fresh. And you also want to make sure with elder that you don't get any bark, so any of the stick to go with it, because that's got low levels of cyanide in it, and you don't want that in any of your recipes. That is not good for you. So here we have nettles, which can be found all over the British countryside and urban areas. These big leaves are actually a little bit too grown up, so they'll taste too fibrous and be quite chewy. You can eat the seeds. They don't sting, they're quite good in salads and things. If you are still trying to get some of the leaves, you want smaller baby ones like this, but you have to be careful that they're not too low down where people might have been with their dogs. And nettles usually grow together in patches, so you'll be able to get a lot of plants at once. The leaves do sting, so it's best to wear gloves. I forgot gloves, so I've just got a plastic bag. And it's the leaves at the very top that are the newest grown that will tend to be the best for your recipes. So kind of pick a few, pop them in a bag. This is a blackberry plant, and you can see the flowers have just started to fade away. They've been pollinated. When they are in season, the flowers make a very nice tea, and then in October time, September, there'll be some really good blackberries on here. And blackberry bushes do tend to all clump together, so you can usually get quite a lot in one go. The flowers that I've brought back don't really need washing. They're okay as they are because you want to get the pollen, and that's why it's really important that you pick them from an area that hasn't got much pollution. What I'm going to do with my Rosehip flowers is make a bit of a tea, and I'm going to put that in a large glass container. You can have these kind of hot, or you can infuse it and then have it cold. I'll try and grab all the petals. And then elderflower is a bit more versatile. You can make cordials and syrups. You basically start by infusing them. So again, I'm going to put these in a container. Oops, there's quite a lot there actually. You can also use them to make wines, cordials. Some people flavour icing sugar with them. If you want to do like cupcake frostings, it's usually best not to put boiling water directly on it because they'll go brown. So put a little bit of a little bit of cold water first, just to get it started. The rosehip flowers aren't so bad, but the elderflower will go brown if you put hot water straight on them. So I'm going to let that infuse to make a kind of tea, and you can see the water colouring a little bit. You can add sugar to sweeten. So I've put a little bit of cold in there first, and then put the hot water on top to infuse. So you can either have this hot as a tea, in which case you'd strain it off, or you can leave it overnight to cool down and then put it in the fridge to make a cold drink. I also got a couple of nettle seeds there, which are quite good, got a lot of protein in them. So obviously you can't eat nettles raw because they will sting your tongue, and that's horrible. So what you do is you put them in a pan and steam them. I've washed these briefly, just to get any surface level dirt off, and then I'm going to leave them there to kind of wilt before putting them into a recipe. So now my nettles are finished, they're blanched, and they can be chopped up and added to this flour and fat mixture to make some dumplings to go in a casserole. And now I just roll it into balls to make my nettle dumplings. Yum yum! I use this very handy book from the National Trust to tell me when things are in season and what to look out for. So you can see from this that it is a little bit late to be getting the nettles, which is why I was selective. But yeah, it gives you an idea of when to go out picking things. So I hope you enjoy that. There's a couple of different layers to it. There's having a slightly different kind of walk, being purposeful at looking at plants, enjoying picking plants and being grateful for the nature that we've got around us, and also trying new and interesting recipes, knowing that they're locally sourced and that you've made it yourself. It can be quite satisfying to know that things have, come from the local community and that we can utilise them. So I hope you enjoy that, not just over this weekend, but have a think about it year-long round, because different things are in season at different times, and so it's something that you can revisit regularly, and it's quite nice to do socially with other people as well, to go out foraging together and sharing what produce is near you. So I hope you enjoy that, and I will see you next time. Bye.